Well, it has happened to me now for the second time. Let's get into it. So this video won't be super structured. Well, I'm gonna try and keep it structured so that I'm not all over the place. And we're just gonna get into it. I pray that I don't start crying, but you guys know me. If you do, anyway, let's get into it. So basically, this past week, I found out that I will no longer be employed as of September 6th, I believe. So I will be getting laid off, and as I said, this is now my second time going through this. I am going to talk about in this video like what that looks like. I'm going to talk about how I feel about it. I'm going to talk about how everything is going to look moving forward as it relates to my debt and savings journey, like all of that. I'm going to talk about what it looks like moving forward. And so just bear with me during this video because, of course, it's devastating, right? I am the full breadwinner of my family. I'm not married. I am single, but it's me and my daughter and my grandchild. And as of this time right now, she's searching for a job. And you guys know she just had a baby. For those of you who do know, if you don't know, my daughter just had a baby. And so all of the weight is heavy on me in this situation that I'm going through. So I want to just kind of talk about first, I do have my notes here, so if you see me looking down, I'm really trying not to veer off track or like not make any sense while I'm talking, So first I want to talk about, I guess it really doesn't matter like how I found out or like story time or whatever, but I kind of thought, or first of all, if you don't know me, let me say that I do not trust any company. I don't care what company it is. I don't trust companies. And not that I don't trust like that, but I do understand that every company has a budget, and just like our personal budgets, if you do not have as much money coming in, you do have to cut somewhere. And usually what companies will do is they will cut employees, right? Because that's a way that they can save money. So I'm very aware of that and understand that whole process and how it works, and it is what it is, right? And so what we try to do as people is we try to do many things. We try to make sure that we're in a profession that's always needed so that we'll always have job security. Or we try to work in certain places like the post office or, certain government jobs where we'll always have a job. Or we are entrepreneurs because we don't want to have our faith in a company and, can turn our lives around, from one day to the next. And so we try to do those things as humans. And for me, what my goal and what I was in the midst of doing, if you've been here, is I was in the midst of, I had already saved my 1 month ahead fund for my my bills and daily expenses, and I was in the process of getting ready to begin my 1 month ahead for my mortgage. My full goal was to pay off debt so that I can have more money and, eventually save my emergency fund, etc. Because I understand how it works with companies, and I did kind of see the writing on the wall, but not really. So it was definitely a shock to me when I found out. And the way that I found out is, I was invited to a meeting that didn't really have much detail in the subject line. And it was weird to me. I was like, what is this meeting about? And then I just thought to myself, oh, maybe it's for this reason or that reason, because it wasn't just me who was impacted. It was others as well, other managers within my department. And so I was like, oh, maybe it's for this or that. And, I tried not to stress out about it because the meeting was scheduled a few hours ahead of when I had received the invite. And when I got in there in the meeting, which was virtual, as soon as I saw HR come on, I was like, it's happening. It's happening. So, anytime HR is involved or they come on, and you've done nothing wrong, 9 times out of 10, it's because you're going to be getting let go from the company, and I'm in a leadership role. I've been in leadership for the past, 17, almost 20 years. So I know the get down. I know how it works. And I've been through it once, so I already know. So, once I got the news, I just sat there and I was just like, okay, what am I gonna do? Like, I was like, is this real? Like, this can't be real. This can't be real. Like, this can't be real. I'm like, pinching myself and hurry up and wake up. And I'm like, nope, that's not the case. I'm wide awake. That's not happening. So they let you go. But, if they don't lay you off like right away, usually they give you a time frame, and by law in certain states, they are required to give you so much notice. But they did, say, okay, we'll let you go home and, process everything and whatever. And then of course they had to let my employees know. And they, didn't want to let them know, like, we're all in a meeting together. So while I was off, they were letting basically everybody know. And so over that time, I just began to think, like, okay, what is the game plan? What is the game plan? And I'm going to tell you guys, this is where I'm going to be so emotional, because, like, I know I say all the time, I don't know why I didn't have no tissue right here. I know I say all the time, like, we have to trust God. We got to trust God. We got to trust God. We got to, and I have all these motivational speeches, if you will. And this is where I said to myself, now you got to give yourself them speeches right back. Right? So I'm like, God didn't bring you this far to just say, oh, well, I brought you this far. Figure it out. And there are other thoughts in my head, like, okay, God, am I going to be able to find something that pays me what I'm paid now or more, right? But then that's where I'm battling. I'm like, I don't want to have doubt, because you can't doubt and trust God at the same time. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So I just began to think, okay, not necessarily, well, yes, what am I going to do now? And that segment is going to be coming up soon. Like, what am I going to do now? Because that's one of the topics. But, I'm like, mentally, don't get to a place where you shut down and you can't move forward in your thoughts and, what it is that you want to do. So those were the things that I was thinking about, what's the game plan moving forward? I was checking in with myself, like, how do you feel? And I do have friends and family who checked on me, but you know, as I explained earlier, I was just thinking like, it's just me. You know, the last time I was laid off, I was living with my mother at the time. And so there was a sense of security there because I wasn't in my own place. You know, I was paying her rent, but I was still living with her, and she didn't like need me to live with her in order to live. I was just living with her because I was trying to save money to purchase a home for myself. So in that sense of having a roof over my head, I was very I felt okay, you know, there. Now in this layoff, what is different is that it's me. I gotta get this mortgage paid. If I don't do nothing else, I gotta get this mortgage paid. I have to pay the HOA. You know, those are the two things that I don't have a choice. You know, I have to keep a roof over my head, right? I have to eat. That's variable, right? But you know, there are other things. There's, you know, utility bills and all that good stuff that, you know, you got to pay for. So with that, you know, I just began to just think. And as I continue to think and pray and reflect on God's word and stand on God's word, I began to feel okay, surprisingly. I mean, I guess if you are a believer, I guess it's not surprisingly, right? But surprisingly, I'm like, first, like, I'm not distraught. I'm distraught that it happened, right? I'm like, oh God, here we go. But I just feel like I'm okay, and I'm not super sad. I'm really feeling like this is a time that I can show God that I really trust him, and that, you know, I want to stand on the principles that I teach or show. I don't think I'm like teaching, but that I show on my channel, or that I speak, and you know, how I just say these different things. I'm like, now I'm in a situation where I can really live it out and just really show God, like, I trust you, like I'm given the situation, you've given it to me to weather the storm, and I'm giving it back to you to say, God, show out, like show up and show out in the situation that I'm dealing in. You know, I will pray, all that good stuff. So I'm going on a tangent. Let me get to my paper. So how do I feel? That's the first question that I am going to answer, that I feel is a valuable thing to share, because job loss is not one of the easiest things to endure. And this is now my second time going through it, and I can definitely say the first time I went through being laid off, I was totally distraught. I was sad. I just thought it was just no hope in the future, and I thought life was over as I knew it. How do I feel this time? Like I stated not too long ago, I feel like I'm okay. I am, you know, a little anxious of the not knowing what's in the future. But I am okay. When it first happened, I was very sad because, I mean, that's my main source of income, right? But I get sad. I have moments of sadness, or moments of where I just feel like crying. One is when I'm talking about it, or when I'm telling somebody, I get sad then. Because I'm still with the company, there are still meetings that I have to have. I have to transfer my team over to the other managers who are staying. I've had a feeling of, let me swallow so that I don't start crying, but I've had a feeling of not being good enough. And the reason why I say that is because it wasn't just, it was me and a couple of other managers who were let go, but there are other managers who are still there and who are still within the department. So the entire department didn't close. So it was just certain positions were eliminated. And so I began to have that feeling like I wasn't good enough. That's why I was let go. But then I quickly had to combat that feeling and say, I am fearfully and wonderfully made in Christ. God gave me a gift and he gave me a purpose on this earth, and I am living it out. And he has something greater for me in mind. And the company that I was with just wasn't the company that can do it for me, and that where I can be used is not there. And so I had to flip it and be okay with that. Like, no, it's not me. And even if it is me, it's me needing to move on. Like, I need to move on. I need to do something else. And whatever that something else is, but I need to just move on because the company was keeping me stuck, honestly. And so I had to quickly, the enemy, he started throwing stuff at you. That's one thing he does. Oh, you ain't good enough. That's why they let you go. And I had to tell him, like, you don't know who my God is. I needed to, sometimes things need to happen in order for you to meet your full potential. And I feel as though this is what that is. And I am prophetically speaking that this had to happen in order for me to get to the next level in life, because I don't know if I ever would have left. I was almost there 10 years. I was very comfortable in my job. I could do it in my sleep. I can manage in my sleep. Managing people is easy for me. It's not the most difficult thing. I did start getting to a place where I was like, I feel like I'm just like a paid babysitter almost sometime. But I truly feel like this is the gateway to something greater in life. And so I had to quickly check that feeling. But yeah, I get up every day. Even though when I'm in these meetings at work, it does make me sad because, I have worked with these people for almost 10 years, and you get to know people and their families and things like that. So whenever I'm in certain meetings where it's literally, a lot of these meetings are final meetings, right? It does make me sad, and it does make me cry, and it does become, it is overwhelming at times. And so I just, I'm like, okay, let me work. Let me get it done. I'm going to leave the company with my head held high. I have integrity with what I'm doing, and I'm still going to be available afterwards if anybody needs me. Anybody have any questions? I told them you can text me because I still have like friends who are still working there. But yeah, so my goal is to leave the company with integrity, my head held high, and in peace. So that's pretty much how I feel. And then next is reflecting, like, what am I grateful for? I am grateful that I did have this job, for the past 10 years. I'm grateful that they hired me on during a time where I really needed a job. I wanted this particular job, and I was hired on in leadership immediately. I didn't have to like work my way up or anything. They saw my skills, and I was brought in as a manager immediately, making the money that I wanted to make at that time. And so I did have, there were a lot of ups and downs, but I'm grateful that I was hired there for as long as I was hired with the company. I'm grateful that I started my debt-free journey about a year ago. I'm grateful that I started that because, baby, let me tell you, okay, I don't think I need to say much. But I'm grateful that I started my debt-free journey, and I was able to pay off all that credit card debt that I had, and I was able to pay off certain, I was able to decrease my bills. So I'm for sure grateful for that. And I am grateful that I started making money as a side hustle. I was making money before, but it seems like this time around I'm making a lot more than what I was making before. And I'm grateful that I decided to be consistent in what I'm doing. And it has helped me in this moment to be able to just keep on going. And it's not something that I'm starting because I'm laid off, and sometimes it starts fast, sometimes it starts slow, etc. But I am grateful that I do have a side hustle, and I know how to work that side hustle, and I'm gonna continue to get better and learn in that side hustle, for sure. I'm grateful that I have faith in the King, and that I know that He is my provider. No matter where the providing comes from, it comes from Him, and it doesn't come from these companies. I totally am 100% grateful for that. I'm grateful for my friends and family who have comforted me during this time and uplifted me, and who's giving me words of great encouragement to just keep on going. And you know, I'm grateful that I have people in my life who I can call on. I'm grateful that I do have my home, and that this did not happen while I was in the process of purchasing a home. I'm super grateful for that. But even more grateful, like literally, if worse comes to worse, and this would be the worst, I can sell and have money and just continue to figure out life. So, you know, I mean, but it's not going to get to that. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? So those are the things that I'm grateful for. What do I wish was different? Because there are some things that I wish that was different. And I wish that I was completely debt-free, for sure. I wish that I had started this debt-free journey like much sooner, because I would be pretty much done. So I do wish that was the case, but I'm still working on it, and I'll continue to make changes during this whole process of whatever's going on. And then I wish that I kept my resume updated. I mean, I'm gonna have to update my resume and then start sending it out, which should be fine and easy, or you know, something to work on. But I just wish it was already ready to go, and I could just start applying for different jobs and you know, kind of get to work. So it's not much that I wish was different. Wishing that I was debt free, and then also wishing that I had my 6 months of emergency fund there and ready to go. That's the only other thing. I mean, I was working on it, didn't quite get there until I needed it, like in this situation, but I'm gonna continue to strive to have this 6 months saved up so that I can continue to live stress free. So those are the things that I wish I was different. So what now? A lot of you guys are probably wondering, girl, what you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna keep laughing to keep from crying, right? But let me see. So when it comes to debt, what am I gonna do? I think for now, in this moment, because it can change, because I'm in an ever-changing season right now. But for right now, I think I'm going to pause my extra debt payments. I think I'm gonna pause it, because in this season of life, I need liquid cash to make sure that I can pay my mortgage, and just all those bills. So I definitely think that I'm gonna pause the large cash, throwing large amounts of cash to debt. So as it relates to debt, I think I'm gonna pause that for a moment. Next is savings. What am I gonna do now as it relates to savings? And I'm gonna be saving pretty much every penny that I get. I'm saving it. Because I don't want to know what the future lies. I need to save my money. And so I am going to continue on with my savings challenges. I might add another savings challenge, or I just might throw all of the money to savings. I don't know how it's gonna look in this moment right now, but for right now, I'm saving all of my money. How is it gonna look for my budget? And the question that I didn't answer, or it wasn't even a question, what I didn't talk about is that yes, I'm gonna be getting a severance, and the severance will last until February, I believe, and I will be able to apply for unemployment. So that'll be my steady income, if you will. And then of course I'll have my side hustle income. But with that money, I'm gonna use that money. I will continue to budget. I will continue to give my tithes. So people probably, they're gonna be asking me like, are you gonna stop paying your tithes? No, I'm gonna keep giving, because I'm going to keep trusting. And my giving is not predicated upon if I have a job or not. My giving is predicated upon my covenant with Christ. And so that's no matter if it's $5, $10, $5,000. I'm going to keep that covenant between him and I. That's my relationship with him. And so I will not stop doing that. But yes, I will continue budgeting every time I get paid. I think the cadence is still every 2 weeks with my job, and then, or with the severance, and then every week. I haven't had unemployment in so long, I don't even know how that works. So I just don't even know. Here in California, I don't know. So when I know, I'll tell y'all. So I don't know if it's every week or every 2 weeks. And then I hope I don't have to get a check. I think I could just get it direct deposited in my account, I believe. I don't know, child, but as soon as I know, I'll let y'all know. And then last and final, because I know this video is going kind of long, I'm going to be recording my journey. Yes, I'm going to be bringing you guys along with me. You probably heard that, or you know, if you've been here, if you're not new, you know that I have been wanting to vlog. So I am going to bring you guys on my journey, and I am going to vlog. One thing that I am going to do is I'm going to invest in a vlogging camera, and I am going to vlog. I'm going to vlog where I'm going, what I'm doing. I'm going to vlog me looking for jobs, going on job interviews. I am going to talk to you guys about the whole journey, the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs, the do's, the don'ts, the I'm going to take you guys with me, because I think it's something that I'm sure people talk about it. I am sure. I'm sure. So I'm not going to say I don't see it. I just never run across that content because that wasn't my context. But now that it is, I probably, you know, will run across like some YouTube channels where people are in this season. But I'll be sharing my season personally and how I'm getting through it. And, you know, if I find any tips and tricks as it relates to job hunting, and I will let you guys know. I know that I need to update my LinkedIn, that's for sure. And for you guys, I don't think I talked about this. What did I do? So I was a manager for a medical healthcare company, and I worked in the call center, if you will. And so I managed a group of phone associates. And so we were managed healthcare. So the call center was a little bit more complex than a normal call center. And so that's pretty much what I did. What I want to do now, I don't really want to go back to that, to be honest with you. I think, I think it's an earthquake. Is it an earthquake? I hope that's not an earthquake. Y'all, we've been having earthquakes like every week. Like, it's so annoying. I really think that I want to pursue a career in human resources because I feel like with my managerial experience, I'm dealing with HR issues all the time, okay? It's always an HR issue. Like, I just be like, oh my God. But I think that that's the journey that I now want to go into. And when I was in school, I was thinking about going from healthcare administration to human resources. I've thought about managing health health centers. I think it's healthcare management, because I thought the people who manage like the doctor's offices or the clinics and things like that, I thought that they were well, it's still a healthcare professional, but I thought it was like a nurse or a doctor. But no, they have people specifically who manage the facility and the operations of it. And so I've thought about doing that. So I'm just really out there and just thinking about, okay, where do I want to take off in my career? I do not want to be a full-time entrepreneur. That is not my desire. I want to have a steady paycheck where I'm getting health care, paying my taxes, doing the regular 9-to-5 stuff, and I want to make money on the side. For me, that's just what I want to do. No, I do not want to work for myself. That's hard. That takes a skill for somebody who really wants to do it, and I don't think that I want to in this moment right now. So that's pretty much also like what I did, where I'm looking to work at in the future, the type of jobs I'll be looking for. I will be enrolling back into school so I can do that in tandem, because I really want my bachelor's degree like bad now. Like it's starting to like gnaw at me. But I think that's it, you guys. That's all. If you have any questions or suggestions, or if you are going through this too, please leave it in the comments so that we can talk. I will be getting back on my schedule. I know that I missed 2 videos and I also missed the live this week, but I'm back on track and we'll be having the live. We will be reading our book. My book is right here. We will be reading Atomic Habits. We'll have our live. Make sure that you guys have read chapters 1 through 3. This is really gonna help me now in my unemployment journey, okay? Because there are some habits that I'm gonna need to have to make sure that I am utilizing my days effectively with my habits, to make sure that I land the right job, to make sure that I am saving money in any way that I can, managing my YouTube channel, and all the things. So pick up your book if you haven't picked it up yet. We will be having our chat, okay? So that's the news, you guys. Budget Treasures will soon be in the unemployment pool and looking for the next best thing. But I thank you guys so much for being patient with me. Thank you for being here. I love you guys all, and I will see you in the next video. Go be great, besties. Peace out.